Hi, and welcome. My name is Jacqueline, and I'm a park interpreter with Santa Clara County Parks. And today I'm going to read you a story. But before we get into the story, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about all the times that you've seen a root before. Now keep your eyes closed. How big was that root? Did you touch it? How did it feel? Go ahead and open your eyes. Now I want you to think about, what do roots do? What is their purpose? Do they help plants? Do plants help them? We're going to get into that today. The last thing I want you to think about is, have you ever eaten a root before? Maybe? If you can think of a root you've eaten, you can go ahead and drop that in the comments. So let's go ahead and get started with our story time. So maybe you already guessed this, but our story today is all about roots. We're going to be reading the story called What Do Roots Do?, which is written by Kathleen Kudlinski and illustrated by David Schubert. What do roots do for their plants up above? They hold them up straight when the wind gives a shove. They hold them upright when the ground's on a slant. They hold them in place if you play on the plant. Why else do they use this underground link? Plants are all thirsty. They use roots to drink. The roots branch out small, then tinier still, then teeny root hairs drink the thirsty plant's fill. Roots suck water in, then they send it up high through tubes far too tiny to see with your eye. And there's even a magnifying glass to help us see these tiny, tiny little root hairs. Water flows up through rootlets, then tap roots. And maybe you've seen these birds maybe in your backyard or one of our county parks before. So water's flowing up through the rootlets, then tap roots, and trunk, then branches, and twigs, until each leaf's drunk all the water it needs. And then way up there, the rest blows away on a breeze in the air. Palm, pine, or maple, it always is true, half of the tree will be hidden from you. Shadowed by treetops, green ferns and moss grow, so do their roots in the darkness below. In sunny yards full of grass, weeds, and clover, you could see all the roots if you turned the dirt over. But you wouldn't do that. It wouldn't be wise. When you break off its roots, a plant often dies. Your garden is brightest and makes the most flowers when the roots have been watered by hose or by showers. Food grows in the garden in vegetable row. Some ripens in the sunshine, but some hides below. Carrots and radish, potato and beet, the underground root is the part that we eat. Can you think of another plant where we eat its roots? I like to think about ginger. Ginger's actually a root, and we use it as a spice. The roots of a cactus spread far to the sides, or reach deep in soil for water that hides. And even in ponds, water lilies have found the best way to grow is with roots in the ground. So under each tree is a tree made of roots, and under each rose and beneath bamboo shoots. Whenever you look at a plant short or tall, remember you don't see the whole thing at all. The end. So the story didn't really dive into this, but I want to let you in on a little secret. plant roots can actually form relationships with other things, namely something called mycorrhizal fungi. And the fungi and the roots have a mutually beneficial relationship, which just means that they both benefit from it. The fungi will help the plant to better absorb water and nutrients and pass those on through the roots and up to the plant. And the plant will produce fats and sugars through a process called photosynthesis, and will give a little bit of that back to the fungi in exchange. It's really an interesting relationship, and these fungi, they can form this with other fungi, with other plants, and so essentially there's this massive network of interactions happening below your feet all the time. It's pretty wild to think about. So anyways, thank you for joining me today for a story time. We read What Do Roots Do? And we learned a little bit more about the importance of roots, how they help plants, and how they can form relationships with other things. Thank you. We invite you to come on out to our parks to experience even more cool aspects of our natural world. For up-to-date information on park access and closures, as well as upcoming programs and to download a trail map, be sure to visit parkhere.org.